Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing great. Here, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer, and today we're going to talk about overcoming the imposter syndrome. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Robin, for joining over here on Zoom. As usual, I appreciate that, the support. We're going to get going 1 second. I'm just checking to see if everything is good. Yep. Okay, so overcoming the imposter syndrome. Yes, why is it that a lot of people, when they're starting their business, are hitting the imposter syndrome and not being able to move forward with their business? And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to go deep into understanding why is it that so many people are struggling with starting a business, whether it is normally, consulting, coaching, affiliate marketing, something where you're selling, a product or service, but you are behind that. Okay, let's talk about that. So give me 1 second. I'm going to change this to here so you can see me now. Okay, so this should be working. Perfect. So welcome. Again, thank you for being here. So let's talk about this, overcoming the imposter syndrome. The first thing we need to understand is that a lot of the things that we're seeing out there on social media are BS. Most marketing programs, what they're trying to do is to get you to buy into their program. So what they're going to tell you is one of the biggest lies I've seen. And guys, as you know, I love studying behavior and understanding behavior, right? And what I see is that these people are teaching you that you need to be just a couple of steps ahead from someone to be able to be teaching them how to do something, right? Oh, you just need to be 2 steps ahead. And that's what they're telling you. Unfortunately, that is one of the biggest lies out there in the market, that you just need to be a couple of steps ahead of somebody to be able to teach them. It is true when you're not charging that you can, of course, get on there, start helping if you are 2 steps ahead. But unfortunately, a lot of people out there are trying to sell their services high ticket, and they are only 2 steps ahead of somebody else. So one of the biggest things that I teach guys, and I have gone into different, confrontations, put it that way, or, quarrels or whatever name you want to put it, with other people because of this, because they're trying to sell something and of course they don't care. So they're saying you just need to be, again, as I was saying, a couple of steps ahead of somebody to be able to sell them whatever you're offering. And that is BS. Why? And I'm going to give you this example, right? If I go to a car dealership, right, to buy a car, and I'm looking for a very specific model with very specific things, right? And I start talking to the guy there, and the guy goes like, oh, yeah, I think it has this. Oh, I think it has that. Oh, I think. And that was very obvious, I think, but seriously, imagine that you're sensing that this person doesn't really know what they're doing. Would you really spend $5, $10, $20, $30,000 in something that you're not really sure you're getting what you want? Well, that is exactly what's happening out there in the market. There's all these people, young, old, it doesn't matter, try to sell stuff that they don't really know or how it works, or they're not making it work for themselves. So how are you going to sound passionate? How are you going to sound trustworthy? How are you going to sound that you know your stuff, that you own it, if you haven't really gone through the process of applying and learning from what you're trying to sell, own it enough for somebody to try to buy it? So what happens is people start talking about the imposter syndrome. People start feeling that they don't know enough, that they're not ready. So there's 2 main things that we can separate this here. I have worked with people that knew what they were doing and they were stuck. That's one thing. People that know what they're doing, but they don't see their own self-value, their own worth, right? So that's one thing. And the other opposite thing is the people that are starting, okay? So I'm going to address both of them a little bit, right, to recognize, but it's very important to separate those 2 things. And meaning that you have been in the market for a year or 2 years, it doesn't mean that you know your stuff. And this is very important, again, to understand. If you have been in consumption mode, right, consuming what others offer, but not really putting into place, turn it into knowledge. I'm going to explain that in a second. And the knowledge turning it into teachable knowledge, it doesn't mean that you know your stuff. I can go to a retail store and stand around for 8 hours a day, and that doesn't make me a specialist in outdoor camping stuff or in, the different fabrics of outdoor, or running clothes. Okay. So this is what people think. If I go stand and walk around and buy some stuff in a retail store, imagine now if I'm going to be hired to sell that stuff to other people. If I don't know my stuff, I'm not going to be able to help people find what they're looking for. And as I'm not able to do that, they're not going to buy. This is the exact same thing in, organic marketing and building a business that has to do with consulting, coaching, or affiliate marketing, or any similar thing around that. It has nothing to do with e-commerce or selling products per se, like, Amazon things or eBay or Etsy or whatever. No, this is different, because in that sense, it's the product that you're selling. In this sense, when you're doing coaching, affiliate marketing, or consulting, you're selling yourself. Whether you like to accept it or not, you're selling yourself. People buy you, not only what you're offering. They buy what you're offering, don't get me wrong, but they're also buying you, who you are, your values, your lifestyle. They're buying the whole combo. Very different when they're buying products. So one of the biggest things that I see over and over again is imposter syndrome. People fall in imposter syndrome. So a lot of people fall in imposter syndrome, first of all, the people that are starting, because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the experience, and they are being tried to be convinced by marketers, by people, by business coaches, that they can sell whatever they want and people are going to buy. Why do they do that? Because if I tell you that, hey, work with me, and it's going to take several months for you to start making maybe your first sales, or maybe your 6 months, a year to be able to make maybe 5 or 10K, you wouldn't hire me, right? But if I tell you that in 3 months you're going to be making 10K, and I can help you, sell high ticket, and then you're going to say, but Tommy, there's a lot of people who are doing it. Sorry, buddy, but you just said, quote unquote, I imagine that you're talking with somebody. There's a lot of people out there doing it. Bullshit. You're only seeing a lot of people out there doing it being the small percentage. And this is very important to understand. Yes. There's a very small percentage of people doing it. That doesn't mean that everybody is doing it. That's how the mind generalizes. So 80 to 90% of the people out there are not making much money with their business. Seriously, guys. Sorry, give me 1 second. 80 to 90% of people out there, sorry about that, are not really making it. Yes. So it has to do with the wrong mindset again, because if I'm starting and I'm in information gathering, and this is what most people are doing, information gathering, that doesn't make me an expert. So having information doesn't make you an expert. And expert as in teaching others. Information is not the same as knowledge. Information is not knowledge. Knowledge comes from breaking the information apart from different programs, videos, people that have taught you different things you've learned by yourself. Breaking everything apart and putting it back together with your own signature. That is knowledge. Type a 1 in the chat, guys, if that makes sense up to here. That knowledge is when you're breaking apart the information and putting it back together in a different way with your own signature. That is knowledge. Okay. Let me see if I can change the blur. Sorry, 1 second. Let's see if I can change the blur here. Where am I going? Sorry. There we go. So it's making sense. Good. So information is not knowledge. So going from program to program, just learning the information, learning it by heart and just repeating it, that is not knowledge. That is information. Knowledge is breaking it apart and putting it back together. But that doesn't mean you now know how to teach, guys. And look at this. This is one of the biggest lies I listen out there over and over again. People saying that if you are 2 steps ahead, you can teach anyone what you're doing. And that is BS. How many here, guys, type a 2 and listen to the question first. How many here have had teachers at school, college, courses, or anything that you know the guy knows a lot, but when they share the information, the knowledge, whatever, you don't get what they're saying. You cannot really apply what they're saying. Has that happened before? That you know the person knows, but when you need to apply it or when you need to understand it, it's like, oh, it doesn't make sense. If it's not making sense, it's because the person doesn't have teachable knowledge. The person has a lot of knowledge, but doesn't know how to teach. So being 2 steps ahead doesn't mean you can teach others. This is going to trigger the imposter syndrome. Going back to that, it's going to trigger the imposter syndrome because you really don't know what you're doing. That from a starting point. So what would be my recommendation to be able to overcome the imposter syndrome when you're starting? Gather information, learn, sign up for programs, look online videos, courses, whatever, books, learn about what you want to start offering to others. First step, information gathering. Yes, right. Then turn it into knowledge. And you can say, well, Tommy, okay, how can I do that? How can you do that? What did you do at school when you needed to learn about a book? What did the teacher ask you to do? A book report. A book report was a summary of a book written by you. When you read the book, it didn't mean you really grasped what is in there. But when you started writing a summary of the book, you started to grasp what the book meant, right? The story behind it, the teachings, the different things, the character, how they, I know, the different traits of the character. That came in a book report. So to turn information to knowledge, start breaking it apart and start putting it back together in a different way. It could be writing Word documents or, writing notes, writing summaries, doing videos. Even if you're not teaching to anyone, you can do a recording of a video talking about whatever you're doing. If it's organic marketing, talking about going to groups and finding the right people in groups or finding the right groups. Talk about that. Change perspective, challenge yourself, not just repeat what you were told in a video from a mentor or somebody you're following, because that is not knowledge, that is information. So you got to be able to grab different types of people that are saying different things, combine them in your own point of view. That is going to start turning into knowledge. And then knowledge into teachable knowledge to be able to start teaching others. What is the fastest way to learn something? And I've been a teacher for 17 years. Okay, by the business, I used to teach adults emergency care. It was by teaching others. So if you want to get better at teaching, start teaching others. So one thing that you can do is start teaching for free. And this is what a lot of people get pissed at me because they say, oh, but this mentor, this person, this guru says that my time is valuable, that I don't need to work for free, that if I work for free, people are not going to pay. BS, guys. They're telling you that because they want your money. Seriously, I'm going to repeat that again. They're telling you that because they want your money. Seriously, guys. Because I've been doing free sessions since I started, guys, and I keep doing free 30, 45 minutes guidance calls, guidance free calls, not sale calls. I do free guidance calls for the last 3.5 years that I went online. I've been doing free live calls. Yes. Free calls. Yes. Free guidance calls. Sorry. Free guidance calls. Since then, I have made with my business $200,000. I'm $200 away of making $200,000. So next time you might be watching this video, I might have, done that. So if I have been able to make $200,000 with giving my time for free, it works, guys. So if 80 or 90% of the people out there in the market are not being able to make money, are not being able to scale their business, are not being able to hit 5 or 10K a month in a, in, I don't know, 6 months, a year, or whatever, it means that what they're doing is wrong. What most people out there are teaching is wrong. That's where we're going to hit the imposter syndrome. Again, if I'm starting, I want to start charging for what I'm doing, it's BS. You cannot do that. I don't care if you're an experienced, I don't know, a trainer, if you are an experienced therapist, if you're an experienced coach, I don't care. If you're starting online, the online business is a new world. Maybe you were working for a gym where you were a trainer. Maybe you were a nutritionist working, at a specific place. If you didn't have your own practice that you had to go out there and start selling yourself, forget about it. You got to start from scratch, guys. And I know you might be saying, oh, this guy is saying bullshit, turn off this live and walk away, because my teachings are not like that. I'd say the opposite of what most people are teaching out there. And that's why people start seeing results. Again, 80 to 90% of people out there are not getting many results. 80 to 90. So it means that what most people are teaching is wrong. So if I'm starting my own practice, I'm selling myself, I need to start from scratch. Not because I don't know what I'm doing, guys, again, because I got to learn marketing and sales the right way. Because if I don't learn marketing and sales to be able to communicate what I do, to get people interested in what I do, I'm not going to make any sales, no matter how good you are in what you're doing. Look, again, I said this before, but I'm going to repeat it again. I started coaching many years ago. I've been doing now for over 13 years. This year is going to be 14 years that I started coaching, okay? But I did it in Spanish. I did it within a business, so I wasn't selling coaching. I wasn't selling myself and my services as a coach, and I was doing it face-to-face. When I went online 3.5 years ago, and I started learning marketing, sales, and all these things to be able to start getting interested in people and selling myself, people interested in what I do, it took me a long while. Was it because I wasn't good at what I was doing? It had nothing to do with my skills as a coach or skills of a teacher teaching all of that. No, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with so many new variables that were brought to my attention, like marketing, sales, organic marketing, and what it entails, doing it in English, doing it over Zoom, Calendly links, having a website, and all these things that I didn't have before for my coaching business. So I had to learn every single aspect of my business so that people would start being interested in what I'm doing, nurturing them, following me, doing follow-ups till they were ready to work with me. So it takes time and work, and understand that if I'm starting, even though maybe I'm not starting from zero, maybe I was working with somebody else or whatever, and now I'm starting my own business, it's going to take time and work to build the skills, the information turn it into knowledge, the knowledge turn it into teachable knowledge. Okay, so that is for somebody that is starting. Somebody that has been in the market for a while, one of the things that I work with the people that I work one-on-one or in group settings normally is I help them identify their skills. So one of the things that you can do, right, as you're watching this, when this finishes, is write a list of the things that you have learned, one of the things you've learned. The other one, the ones that you have really put into practice and have worked for you. Knowledge. So one is information, what you have learned. Organic marketing, let's say, creating a professional profile. I've learned how to create a professional profile. I've learned how to go in groups and find, the right groups. I've learned how to, add friends, prospecting. Write those things out as the information that you gathered together. Okay, that information, have I put it into practice? but not just for 1 month, not 2 months. No, we're talking about putting into practice that you really know what you're doing, that you could say like, whoa, I would pay a guy for this knowledge. What I know, I would pay big bucks for this knowledge. If I would hire myself, I would pay that. And you got to be very honest with yourself, guys. And then start teaching the knowledge that you have, start teaching. So the next column would be teaching. What are you able to teach to others and really help them? Once you have those columns, start working and getting the ones from the information into the teachable column. As you do that, it's going to be able to help you, of course, realizing how much you know and what you can teach to others and feel more confident, feel more, let's put it this way, more confident and less, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is going to hit you each time you start doubting yourself, doubting the skills you know. But as you can see written down, the information, knowledge, and teachable knowledge that you have, and keep practicing and moving the information into the third column of teachable knowledge, is going to help you feel more confident, increase your self-esteem. People are going to resonate more with you and are going to be more interested in working with you. When I started, I had 0 close rate. Did that mean that Tommy didn't know what he was doing? No, it meant that I didn't know about marketing and sales, but it didn't speak about my own skills, my coaching, therapy, neuroscience, and the things that I do were not in question. What was in question was my marketing and sales. But if the mind is in the wrong place, it's going to start putting everything in the same place, saying like, I'm not good at what I'm doing. No, I am not good at marketing. I am not good at sales, but I'm learning how to get better at it. You see the difference there, guys? Type a 3 if this is making sense, please. A 3 in the chat if this is making sense. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I need to see where I'm at and where I can be. And if I'm over here in the, teachable knowledge, I already been teaching, I already have help, I don't know, 50, whatever amount of people that I need to really feel confident of owning my stuff, imposter syndrome is going to go away, guys. So it's not about trying to convince myself that I know, and this is what most marketing coaches and business coaches are trying to do. They're trying to convince you that you know what you're doing. But do you really know what you're doing? Would you pay yourself if you had, if you want to charge $3,000, $5,000, would you really pay yourself? Would you pay a person that is in the same level that you are? Ask yourself that. Do you really have the experience, the knowledge? Have you helped a certain amount of people that you're really confident in what you're doing? Most people say yes, but deep down, they don't believe in themselves. Some could be because, again, they have mind blocks that need to be, of course, get rid of. That has to do with people that have experience, and I have found many that have experience, have knowledge, have teachable knowledge, but they have hit a wall, okay? Mindset, we need to work on that. The people that are starting, many times they try to convince themselves that they know what they're doing to get paid, to get money, because many times they're desperate for money. And now they're going to hit the imposter syndrome because deep down they know they don't know. So the imposter syndrome starts hitting them. So it's not about just trying to convince themselves that they know. And a lot of people teach this, and I hate it. Fake it till you make it. No. Why? Because I wouldn't like to pay you that you're faking it. Would you like to pay me $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 and then find out that I'm faking it? I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't like that. So then don't fake it. Be honest. Hey, I'm starting. I'm learning. Hey, I just signed up to this program. Would you like to learn more about this? I teach you some stuff for free. Offer your time for free. If you're stuck, if you're not able to move forward, go back to the drawing board, start teaching people for free, start sharing value. That is going to help you build your knowledge and your teachable knowledge. And that is going to start overcoming the imposter syndrome so that you can finally start building your business. But if you keep struggling with this, the truth is the imposter syndrome might be there because it's a warning that you're in an area that you don't know what you're doing. Again, it could be that, or it could be that you just have mind blocks that need to be address. But in my experience, most of the times, it's people that are not where they should be, and they're trying to convince themselves that they should be where they think they should be, and they're forcing themselves to try to overcome the imposter syndrome. So it's not about forcing yourself. It's about slowly building your business. Building a business is not an overnight thing for most people out there. It took me nearly a little bit less than 3 years to be able to build a 6-figure business. And now I have already made $200,000 in my entire business wise with this one. So it takes time, work, building the different skills that you need, even though if you know what you're doing, to build the marketing and the sales knowledge experience to be able to communicate in a very interesting way, intriguing, interesting, trustworthy way, so that people might be interested in working with you. It doesn't happen overnight. It needs to work. You need to put the work in. Okay. So yeah, there are many tools out there. There's a lot of AI coming out. There's AI to write posts. There's AI to different things that I have found out there that are amazing. I have tested some AI to write a landing page, create a landing page for a 12-week program of one-on-one coaching for mind reprogramming. Boom, it wrote me a landing page. I wanted a lead magnet. It wrote me a lead magnet. Different things out there, tools for prospecting, tools for, sending messages out on Facebook, on LinkedIn. There's a lot of AI, artificial intelligence coming out that helps us with our business. But if we don't have the right skills, the right knowledge, or the right teachable knowledge, we just have information, it's going to be very difficult to get our business off the ground. And that's, again, when we start hitting the imposter syndrome. So if you're starting, give yourself time, work for free, build your skills, learn, practice, teach others, so that you can really build your confidence and confirm that you know what you're doing, or build that you know what you're doing, own what you're doing. If you're already a coach, affiliate marketer, therapist, somebody that's building their business, they know what they're doing, they're struggling, it's okay too. The imposter syndrome could come from your marketing and sales knowledge, and not from what you're doing as coach, affiliate marketer, or therapist. And I've seen that a lot. People that are stuck in their mind thinking that they might not know what they're doing because their marketing is not working. So it has nothing to do with your skills as coach, as therapist, as healer, as whatever. It has to do with your marketing and sales, things that I struggled too when I started. But I was able to separate, okay, this has nothing to do with Tommy and his knowledge and, teachable knowledge around coaching, therapy, neuroscience. It has to do with his marketing and sales skills. When I was able to separate those things, I was able to overcome the imposter syndrome that might have started creeping up in my mind, and take the right actions to learn more marketing, to learn more sales, and to be able to get out there and practice, so that more people would get to know me and people would start signing up to work with me. Guys, I tried for nearly 4 or 5 months what most programs are teaching you. I tried, scripts, pushing people around, making them feel like crap, hitting their pain, all this manipulation thing out there that I thought it was the right thing to do because everybody was talking about this. I tried it for 4 or 5 months. I had 0 sales, and I'm happy that that happened, because I didn't feel comfortable, but I did it because, everybody was saying this is the right way to go. I talked to people that I feel that they have values, and ethics, and they were telling me that that was the right way to go, that's what they were doing coaching. I was like, okay. And seriously, I was wrong. I was wrong in trusting these people, because I realized that those were not my values and my ethics. I don't need to push people around. I don't need to manipulate people to buy into my program. If they want to buy, they're going to buy. If they don't want to buy, they're not going to buy, and that's fine with me. But as I start changing my mindset into, hey, I'm going to get out there and start helping people. And even today I do it, where I offer, free guidance calls, and some people walk away without even asking about working with me, and that's fine. I have like between 25 to 30% of people that I talk to, that they just walk away with the information or knowledge or whatever, what I share with them, and that's it. And I never see them again, or they maybe sit there in the background and they just keep, the freebie seekers, and it's fine. but I have a 70 to 75% of people that ask to work with me. And I have from those 75% of people that ask to work with me, I have between a 40 and a 45% close rate. That is pretty high without scripts, without manipulation, without forcing them, without scarcity, like, oh, if you don't sign up in the next 24 hours, this is going to go up. Oh, I'm not going to have room for you. So if you don't sign up in the next 24, 48 hours, you lose this. I don't do any of that, guys, on my calls. Maybe I can tell them if I have a very tight schedule, I can tell them, look, just let me know before you want to start because I got to check if I have availability. And that's true. Sometimes I might not have availability. Right now, I'm not taking any new calls because I'm taking days off, as I've talked to many of you, right? But I'm also, in a way, just working the least I can because I'm taking some quote unquote vacations. I'm working 2 days a week right now. So I'm not taking calls in. So I might use that, of course, saying like, right now I don't have much time available. I'm really sorry. But I don't tell them, oh, if you don't sign up in the next 24, 48 hours. And I have made $200,000 with my business. It is possible to do it with ethics and keeping your values together and not compromising. And this is what I want to share with you guys. How to build a business without compromising who you are, your ethics, and your values. But it takes time. And there's nothing wrong again with that, guys, because again, if 80 to 90% of people out there are not making a lot of money with their business or barely making any money with their business, it's because what they're teaching is wrong. And this is what I want to bring to you guys. The imposter syndrome is you're going to overcome it when you do the right work, not by faking it, by trying to repress it, by trying to ignoring it. It's by saying, okay, why do I have this? Why am I feeling an imposter? Write those information that I've learned. Is this knowledge information? Is this teachable information, right? Teachable knowledge. Is it? If it's not, go up there and turn it into, teachable knowledge. And if we look at lawyers, if you look at different people out there, doctors, when a doctor finishes their studies, they don't go out there and start operating. Now they start doing some, different rotations to learn at the side of somebody else. Maybe do that, some quote unquote internships to accelerate your process. But if you're trying to accelerate your process by convincing yourself that you know what you know, that is not going to work, guys. You're going to hit the imposter syndrome. And it's going to hold you back because deep down, you still have values in the back of your head that are holding you back from doing stupid things. That's why so many people are stuck. They're trying to go against their ethics, their values deep down, again, the deep down rooted values that they have in ethics. And the mind saying like, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. And it keeps you procrastinating and it keeps you different ways. There are different reasons. I also talked about feeling not good enough, inadequate, different things, of course. But also sometimes it could be because it goes against your values and your ethics. It went against my values and my ethics for 4 or 5 months, right? And I made 0 sales. When I started applying this, helping people, no manipulation, got rid of my script, my calling script, all of that, I started feeling so much better. I started feeling myself. I started sharing who I really am, and people started resonating with me and started signing up to work with me. So for the first 6 months, I did 0 money. 0 money. Yes, guys, 0 money. Then my first year, I did $30,000. And then it kept on going up and up and up. And this is what I want to share with you guys. We need to work to overcome the imposter syndrome the right way. If not, we're going to keep dealing with that, or we're going to go into burnout, shut down because the mind is not going to accept what we're doing. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you're enjoying this. Let me know with a yes, capital letters, if this is making sense, if you enjoyed this talk about the imposter syndrome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. For the people on the platform, on the group, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to stay here with the people in the community on Zoom. So we're going to do some laser coaching, some talking and debating, Q&As and different things around this. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.